According to dictionary.com, abortion is simply the removal of a fetus from the uterus, or the arrested development of an embryo at a more or less early stage. It doesn't sound that bad, does it? See, this is the serious problem here. Abortion is one of the most common surgical procedures in the world. It kills up to 1.3 million innocent human beings a year in the United States alone. And the average American knows almost nothing of the shocking reality. Abortion silently kills 4,000 babies a day in the U.S. and 130,000 worldwide. The typical view of abortion is one of being a woman's choice, or a quick solution to a bigger problem. But it is so much more than that. So many Americans are turning their heads and not facing this serious problem that is tearing down the fundamental morals in which our country was once founded on. The right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for all human beings. Now, there are several serious types of abortion, but my goal here today is to share with you just one type, the type that is known to be the most gruesome and horrific, yet it is still being done in our country today. And this is induced labor abortion, or commonly known as born-alive abortions. Now, I'm sure many of you are aware of this abortion. If not, let me explain it to you. In order to perform an induced labor abortion, the doctor inserts medication into the birth canal close to the cervix. The cervix is an opening at the bottom of the uterus that stays closed until the woman is about 9 months pregnant and ready to deliver. This medication stimulates the cervix to open early. And when this happens, a small, fully formed baby falls out of the uterus, many times alive and healthy. It is very common for these babies to live for an hour or two after the abortion, sometimes even longer. Some babies have been recorded to live over 8 hours. But the saddest part of this whole procedure is that after all the infant is put through with a premature induced birth, many hospitals will leave the dying babies in a soiled utility room so that they can spend the last of their short-lived lives on Earth with no one to even hold them. Of course, hospitals try to mask these horrors by providing the option for baptism for the dying baby. Hospitals provide birth certificates, along with death certificates, baptismal gowns, and a first photo machine that can record the few hours that he or she is alive. But in reality, these things are only designed to make the parents and medical staff feel better about murder. This terrible act of infanticide is being conducted in hospitals nationwide. But the most serious part of it all is that so many Americans are unaware of its existence. According to many online polls and articles, so many people don't even know what's going on. When I asked several of my friends in high school if they knew what induced labor, or commonly known as born-alive abortions, were, most of them replied that they did not. Many of them had never even heard of it. And the majority of them were shocked to hear that President Obama voted 3 times against the bill, which would have outlawed born-alive abortions. An overwhelming number of people are unaware of this. However, we can find hope when we hear stories about Jill Stanix, a former nurse at Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn, Illinois, who stood up for the lives being destroyed through born-alive abortions. Jill was a registered nurse in the labor and delivery department in this hospital, and she was horrified to learn that this Christian establishment was pro-abortion. She stated in her testimony, "It hurts so much that these abortions were being done in a hospital named after my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ." She continues to tell the story about how she gave up her obedience and followed what she believed was right. One night, a coworker was taking a baby with Down syndrome, which had been aborted alive, to the soiled utility room because she didn't have time to take care of it. Jill witnessed this and couldn't bear the thought of this poor baby dying alone. So she cradled him for the 45 minutes that he lived. She recalled that he only weighed half a pound, was 10 inches long, was so frail you could almost see right through him, and he barely moved at all because he was using every ounce of energy he had just to breathe. From that point forward, Jill began a battle with the hospital until she was expired in 2001. To this day, she continues her fight. She ends her testimony by saying, "I am free to openly discuss the horrors of abortion because I've seen these horrors with my own eyes. Each one of us has a voice that we must use to stop the atrocity of abortion." And she's right. Each one of us does have the ability and right to stand up for these innocent babies that aren't even given a chance at life. As Pope Benedict XVI stated, "How is it that the most wondrous and sacred human space, the womb, has become a place of utterable violence?" We mustn't just stand by and become indifferent to this immoral and upsetting crime. I now invite all of you to further educate yourselves on the evils of abortion, because after all, I'm just a 17-year-old with a speech. But it'll take all of us to make a difference in the right to life.